We are learning new information on an overnight standoff in Tigard that left the suspect in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We take you there live with the latest. And Oregonians are signing their name on the dotted line to say "I do" at a Portland park. We talk with lucky couples who have been waiting for hours to reserve their spot. Plus, parts of the Cascades are getting ready for Old Man Winter to finally make his big debut. Meteorologist Rod Hill has the latest on the winter storm warning headed our way and where all that snow is expected to fall. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green. We have Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis for a look at your weather and traffic.
You know, we could toy with you and say the snow is coming to the valley, but it's almost just as surprising that it's going to hit the Cascades. Surprising because it's been such a disappointing winter so far. But this is a winter storm warning. It starts tomorrow, goes into Thursday, up and down the Cascades. More on that story coming up in our show, but it looks likely that especially above 4,000 feet, there's going to be a good solid 2 feet of snowfall. So that's good news. Right now, we're pretty quiet. Clouds and eventually some flurries or light snow showers in southern and eastern parts of our state. But we'll open up partly cloudy skies here on the west side, and we'll go on to be mainly dry today. Nice shot of the Capitol Mall down in Salem, 37, a chilly morning. Here we've got downtown Portland, a little illumination on the Willamette waters. We're at 42. We'll be in the mid to upper 40s this afternoon. Here's Chris.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. We've got a couple of traffic alerts to pass along. I want to start off with that one. I-5 southbound in the Burlingame area, heading down into the Twilliger curves. We've got either a stall or a fender bender that is involving that semi right there. The southbound left lane is blocked. And as we go out and show you, we are starting to back up that southbound I-5 commute. You're going to hit that just south of Corbett. Traffic really starting to stack up a bit around that. Also, as we go a little wider here across the state, big traffic alert in eastern Oregon. I-84 at this hour remains closed westbound between Baker City and Pendleton because of at least one crash reported in the Blue Mountains. Not sure if that's weather related, but it's still kind of snowy up there. Also in Wasco County, US 97 closed south of Grass Valley because of an early crash there. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. We are following breaking news this morning in Tigard, where the Washington County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man who was barricading himself inside a home. Our Thomas Schultz is live at the scene. And Thomas, you just learned new information about the suspect's condition.
Yeah, that's right, China. According to TVFNR, who is also on scene out here, that man has been transported to the hospital with life-threatening conditions. I want to show you some video from earlier this morning as well. This is of law enforcement surrounding the window before actually pulling the man out of it. Sheriff's Office officials tell us this was initially a domestic report, but once they arrived on scene, things got dicier.
What we learned was that the suspect had access to firearms. This really changes the dynamic of this call, and then it's an opportunity for us to bring additional resources in to make it safer.
The sheriff's office says they were able to get the family out safely, but because of those firearms, they brought in an armored vehicle. Law enforcement ripped the door off the home to get the man out before instead eventually pulling the suspect out of the home. Here's what one neighbor told us about what she saw this morning.
This is a quiet 55 and older community, so it's kind of scary. I'm sure we've got a lot of feathers ruffled. Nothing like this ever happens around here.
Yeah, I mean, really a new experience for her and other neighbors out here that we spoke with today. A lot of shock in this community in southwest Tigard this morning. Now, fire investigators are still on scene looking for hotspots. There is some Washington County Sheriff's Office officers here as well, continuing to monitor their home. This home here as cleanup continues and these investigations continue. China?
Thomas Schultz reporting live. Thank you, Thomas. And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available 24/7. You can call the domestic violence hotline at the number there on your screen, 1-800-799-SAFE, or text the word START to 88788. Earlier this morning, a convoy carrying the leader of Venezuela, Maduro, arrived at the Manhattan courthouse ahead of his first court appearance today. The U.S. indictment against Maduro accuses him of leveraging government power to promote criminal conduct such as drug trafficking and terrorism. Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, who has expressed her willingness to work with the U.S., is now the interim president. Members of the Congress are divided, mostly among party lines, about whether the strike was legitimate.
Only Congress has the power to declare war.
This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion.
Officials there say at least 40 people were killed in the attack.
There's no other way of get rid of this situation other than having a military intervention.
That woman you just heard from owns a Venezuelan restaurant in southeast Portland. She says that she left Venezuela more than 20 years ago due to hyperinflation, corruption, and limited opportunity for career growth. She says President Trump's capture of Nicolas Maduro was the only way to remove Maduro from leadership. But other people in Portland disagree with that. Locally, there were several protests held in opposition to the actions by the U.S. government. Jake Holter has a story.
You know, we're not going to stand for this. We're not going to stand for U.S. intervention.
Protests popping up across downtown Portland Saturday after the U.S. military captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro overnight.
It's just hard to believe that he would invade another country, capture the president, take them out.
Peter Parks out protesting with a personal connection.
My wife and I were in Venezuela like in 2004. We've talked to a lot of Venezuelan people. We've visited different workplaces, and I cannot agree with Trump's and his administration's analysis of what's going on there.
This is exactly the sort of international intervention that Trump campaigned against.
Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley experiencing some uncomfortable deja vu.
There are parallels that should haunt us to the action in Iraq. In Iraq, it was weapons of mass destruction, which was a cover story fed to the American people. In this case, the cover story was interdicting drugs.
Merkley claims it's actually about resources.
This is about oil. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world.
President Trump making multiple references to Venezuela's oil in his address Saturday morning.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Senator Patty Murray from Washington took to X to write, quote, "It is outrageous for a president who is tanking our economy here at home to suggest that the American taxpayer spend a fortune to, quote, run another country while doing nothing to make life better in America."
The amount of people being out here on such a dime like this shows like just how unpopular actions like these are, how much the U.S. people do not want war.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
And stay with KGW as we continue to cover this story and reactions from the community on air, online, and streaming on KGW+. A suspect is now in police custody after a deadly shooting outside a Vancouver bar on Saturday. Vancouver police say 28-year-old Jared Taylor allegedly shot and killed a 43-year-old man after the two got into an argument. It happened just before 1 Saturday morning at the Off-Ramp Sports Bar on Northeast 112th. Police arrived to find the victim dead in the parking lot of the bar. Police say Taylor turned himself in on Sunday and has been booked on charges including murder. The investigation is ongoing. In Lincoln County, investigators are looking into an incident that left 2 people dead and 1 hurt. Newport police were called to a home on Northwest Grove Street last Friday where they found the body of one man who had been shot and another man in critical condition with stab wounds. The body was identified as 42-year-old Matthew Wanzer, who was allegedly shot by a person living at the home after they witnessed Wanzer attacking the stabbing victim. While investigating that case, in a nearby hotel, police found the body of a 58-year-old man, Robert Petticourt. He had multiple stab wounds. Now, police say these incidents appear to be isolated and no one has been arrested. They ask anyone with information to reach out. At 9 o'clock this morning, a murder trial gets underway for Kevin West, a Kamis-Washougal firefighter who was accused of killing his wife in 2024. Local officials say West initially reported that his wife was having a seizure and had stopped breathing. But 2 months later, an autopsy found that his wife had died by suffocation and blunt trauma to the neck. Her death was ruled a homicide. We'll have more on this in our evening newscast and on our website, kgw.com. Your time now is 8:09. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at your weather.
Sun's up. I'm looking, not very bright out there. Oh, there's a window right there. But we do have some breaks in the cloud cover, and this will be primarily a dry, light wind day with partly cloudy skies increasing opening up and temperatures in the upper 40s. So a really nice Monday. You can plainly see the moisture break right here. Some action down in California, rain and snow depending on elevation. And we'll see some snow showers today migrate southern and eastern part of our state. But here on the west side, pretty quiet. This is the incoming storm that will bring us hours of steady rain returning to the coast and valley tomorrow and bring us the winter storm warning with heavy snow finally up in the Cascades taking hold tomorrow into Thursday. Here's a spot that's pretty bright. This is up on the hill, Willamette Valley Vineyards and Turner just south of Salem. Looking out over the valley with partly cloudy skies there. We have temperatures in Salem 37, low 40s Portland, Kelso and Astoria, mid 30s in Bend, and foggy and 36 for you folks out in the Dalles this morning. Light winds, including the Gorge on this Monday. So the forecast, partly cloudy, upper 40s, shows 50 in Corvallis. That's a really nice day with light winds, mainly dry weather. Similar numbers up in southwest Washington. This shows Battleground in Vancouver at 48 degrees. And on the weather map, again, snow showers out east, or flurries anyway, and also southern areas. But here's the mainly dry, partly cloudy sky weather developing coast and valley. 48 today. Impact alert for tomorrow. We start off dry early. Rain gets going. The impact alert in the afternoon and the evening as steady rain picks up and becomes increasingly heavy and increasingly impactful for kind of a messy day. And then rain at times Wednesday. We're all dry on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that is your update. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert in the Terwilliger Curves. I-5 southbound, a wreck near the Terwilliger Boulevard exit ramp has the left lane blocked. You can see emergency crews have just pulled up on the scene there, and that is stacking up the southbound commute now. In fact, it's all the way back to McAdam at this point. So about a 2.5 mile backup. Sorry, we lost that camera there, but coming off the Markham Bridge, you're going to hit that slowing immediately there. Elsewhere on the freeway system, not too bad. The trip in from Hillsborough, 20 minutes, 23 minutes gets you in from Troutdale to I-5. That's on I-84. And the drive across the Columbia River, that's not bad this morning. I-205 rolling right along I-5. This is, yeah, we've got it highlighted in red, but this is pretty normal. Main Street to the Fremont Bridge averaging about 18 minutes. China?
Thank you, Chris. For the first time in its history, Elephant's Deli is letting people get a half pint of any soup every day this month for just $30. That's a big discount considering a bowl of its soup generally about $5. Company leaders say this deal is meant to help people start 2026 on the right foot.
It's part of an incredibly healthy ritual. I mean, having moderation and deliciousness and managing it and not overeating is part of what a lot of people are thinking about going into the new year.
You can buy a soup card in any of their stores or online, but you are warned supplies are limited. Coming up, a youth hockey coach is making sure his team has a place to practice by taking matters into his own hands.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
For the fourth time in franchise history, the Seattle Seahawks are the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. That's after they beat the 49ers 13-3. And while there are plenty of star players on the Seahawks, they want to credit the head coach.
The community that he's building in that locker room, man, we play for each other. We fight for each other. And I've said this before. We got here to this point, and it started last year, man. It started through those ups and downs that we had last year when I came here. It started then, and we were able to pick it up this year and just keep rolling.
They love each other, man. It is so much fun to go to work every day and to coach this team. It is an absolute honor to coach these guys. I just talked to AD on the plane. I was like, I don't want this to end.
Again, this is the fourth time Seattle is in the NFC #1 seed in franchise history. The 3 previous times they've made it to the Super Bowl. And Vegas likes their odds to win it all. They're also the Super Bowl favorites in the latest odds by DraftKings, followed by the Rams, Broncos, Patriots, and the Eagles. Well, the Oregon Ducks are set to take on the Indiana Hoosiers this Friday in the Peach Bowl. It's Oregon's first trip to the semifinals since the first college football playoff in 2015. Indiana is undefeated. They're the Ducks' only loss this season, beating them 30-20 in October. And there's big expectations for quarterback Dante Moore, who head coach Dan Lanning says is a different player than he was back in October.
Experience. You got to remember when we played earlier in the season, Dante hadn't played a ton of games. And, as you play an entire season, you get exposed to a lot of different looks. You learn from those moments. And Dante's certainly learned from a lot of those moments, what he's seen. He's been obviously a great player for us and done an unbelievable job, but he's not the same player.
The kickoff for the Peach Bowl is set for 4:30 our time this Friday, January 9th. ESPN's matchup predictor picks Indiana to win. For years, a Wisconsin hockey coach has transformed his backyard into a massive ice rink for his team of 10-year-olds, and this year he's perfected it. Mara Hubbard takes us on the ice.
Ready? The Howells' backyard is filled with skates and screams.
It is just a fast-paced, high-energy game that I've always loved.
The Shaw Timberwolves and a rink all to themselves.
I don't have to go to a rink to skate. I can just come out to my backyard and mess around. We're just trying to have fun and be the best.
They're doing things that we ask them to do in practice. They don't do it in practice, but they come out here and all of a sudden, like that, they're doing it, right?
Coach Jake and his wife Jamie host and have grown this rink year after year since 2020.
This is the biggest it's ever been. I don't think it can get bigger unless we tear the deck down.
The rink is now 80 by 40 feet, and while the kids skate, parents stay warm and watch.
Seeing their love and passion for the game is probably one of the best things, I would say, in life, especially for my son.
3, you guys start.
We've got our own little microcosm of culture that we're building here. We'd love to see that grow into the community.
For Coach Jake and his team, having this backyard ice rink does more than just build memories. It's something they depend on. In their area, they only have one indoor ice rink they use, and sometimes they share that ice with 2 other teams in one practice.
When it comes down to it, there just isn't enough ice for the kids.
He says the Southeastern Hockey Association of Wisconsin is raising funds for a new rink.
But it's a really hard effort. It takes a lot of money and it takes a lot of desire from the community to put something like that up.
But for now, this personal rink is bringing the Timberwolves together.
They're all my friends and every time they have my back.
Sparking a lifelong love for the game from the backyard to beyond.
That's what I hope they get out of it. That passion, that fun, and then when they grow up, they think back to this and how much fun it was.
I love that.
You mentioned one thing that seems odd, but it shouldn't be odd, is that it was snowing while they were playing hockey on ice.
Should be the norm.
It happened.
Should be the norm.
I know.
You're right. I remember when I was a kid, there was a pond out in the cow pasture in front of our house, and we would shovel off the snow as kids, and we all had our stick. We didn't know what we were doing, but we had our sticks and our skates, and we had a puck, and we had the sticks, and we played hockey. It was fun.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Yes, what a lovely story I just told. Here's our Timberline Lodge camera. You can see the snow up there. Speaking of, about 6 to 8 from Bachelor up through Meadows and Timberline. has fallen over the weekend. A good chunk of that was actually last night. 24 degrees up there right now. We do have snow at pass level, but temperatures are warming. 31 at government camps. That's not too bad. Much more of a snow-covered roadway. Santiam 28 and Willamette 30 degrees right now. Those are current conditions. It's just flurries up there today. Traveling probably gets better. We'll open up some partly cloudy skies. Everything in the 7-day is really hinged on a storm front or weather system that arrives tomorrow. With that moisture coming in tomorrow, winter storm warning up and down the Cascades, both Washington and Oregon, starts tomorrow, goes into Thursday. This looks to be one of the better hits of snow we've had this entire winter season. I haven't had many, as you know. So tomorrow, snow level is about 4,000. There's a front that comes in into the evening into the mountains, drops the snow level into Wednesday morning down to 2,000 feet. So to me, confidence is pretty much absolute that at least above 4,000 feet, Meadows Base, Timberline, we'll see 2 feet of snow. Maybe more, fingers crossed. Hoping government camp at 4,000 feet gets at least a foot or more there. It all winds down Thursday, then Friday we go back to sunny skies. So obviously you will need to check conditions and be prepared for all-out winter driving conditions in the mountains starting tomorrow, especially in the afternoon, all the way into Thursday. Here's today, snow showers in blue out toward Baker City, but mainly dry and opening up some sunshine here on the west side. Dry overnight tonight. First thing tomorrow morning, here comes the incoming system. Rain at the coast, increasing steady rain in the afternoon tomorrow for your Tuesday. Heavier rain into the evening hours. I have an impact alert up tomorrow, PM hours, just for the impact of the hours of steady rain on your working outdoors, traveling, whatever you're doing. This occasional shots of rain and mountain snow on Wednesday, continuing into Thursday. Weather models show what picks up tomorrow and goes through Wednesday night on and off could be nearing an inch of rain from Portland down through Corvallis, over an inch in Kelso, and nearing 2 inches at the coast, and decent widespread moisture amounts pushing across our entire state. Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, we have partly cloudy skies. This camera's kind of got knocked sideways, but partly cloudy down at the end of Otter Crest in Lincoln County as well. So the coast is looking good, and I think we'll see increasing sun here in the valley during the day as well. Right now, 37 Salem, 42 in Portland. 7-day numbers, we get up to about 48. The impact alert for the rain tomorrow afternoon in red. The wet weather into Thursday, the dry time Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert in the Twilliger curves. I-5 southbound now, a two-car crash, or a car and a semi involved with this wreck near the Twilliger exit ramp. You can see the southbound left lane is blocked, and traffic is backed up now pretty solidly 3 miles back through the curves and onto the southbound Markham Bridge. So give yourself an extra 10 or 15 minutes to get around that specifically. Elsewhere on the freeway system, we're not in too bad a shape. I-5 out of Clark County right now, about 17 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Meanwhile, I want to get you updated on this in eastern Oregon. I-84 westbound remains closed from just west of Baker City to Pendleton because of an earlier crash. You can see we've got some snow-covered roadways out there up in the blues. And south of Grass Valley in Wasco County, US 97 remains closed this morning because of an early morning crash. That's near milepost 30, about 2 miles south of Grass Valley. China?
Thank you, Chris. Former vice presidential candidate Tim Walz making a major announcement this morning why he's choosing to end his run for re-election as governor.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Now to your morning rush. Here's a reason for a happy new year. Gas Buddy predicting the average price for a gallon of regular gas will be $2.97 in 2026. That would be the first year below $3 since 2020. It would mark 4 straight years of falling prices. Gas Buddy is making the prediction despite ongoing uncertainty in oil-rich Venezuela. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he's dropping his re-election bid. The announcement comes as fraud allegations continue to rise in the state, which has prompted renewed criticism from Republicans, something Walz cited as a challenge in his campaign for a 3rd term. And lawmakers are returning to Capitol Hill with a pressing to-do list. The Senate convenes Monday, and the House is set to do so on Tuesday. Chamber is expected to vote on extending newly expired Obamacare subsidies. Congress also must decide how to respond to President Donald Trump's removal of Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro, and another government shutdown deadline is at the end of the month. And that's your morning rush. Members of the United States are holding a meeting today following the arrest of Venezuela's leader. We'll have more details on that. Plus, some happy couples spent the morning waiting in line, hoping to get the perfect wedding venue of their dreams.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Good morning, I'm China Green. Beaverton police are looking for the driver of this car. At around 8:30 on December 23rd, police say that they crashed into the TriMet bus, then left the scene. It happened on Southwest Beaverton Hillsdale Highway at Highway 217. If you know anything about this car or the driver, reach out to Beaverton Police. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
We have a nice day coming. We've had some breaks in the cloud cover. We're also seeing some developing fog pockets, but our coast cameras are partly cloudy. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, and we have sun now over the summit of Mount Hood as well. By the way, that's about 6 inches of new snow up there. Temps are in the 20s. So Portland, kind of mostly cloudy overall. There is a spotty shower threat, but generally this turns into a dry, light wind, partly cloudy day. We'll be upper 40s at 1 o'clock. 44 as we get rolling into the evening hours. Notice the red on the 7-day. The PM hours of tomorrow, steady rain becoming heavier into the evening. Certainly going to impact your traveling or your being outdoors. Rain at times continues Wednesday, but there will be breaks. We're all dry this upcoming weekend.
We are following breaking news this morning in Tigard, where the Washington County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man who was barricading himself inside a home. Our Thomas Schultz is live at the scene. Thomas, you learn more information about the suspect's condition.
Yeah, China TVFNR, who is also here on scene, says that suspect has been taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries as well. I want to show you some video that was captured a few hours ago. This is a standoff that went on from around 11 p.m. to 5:30 this morning. This shows investigators surrounding the window of the home before pulling the man out. Sheriff's Office officials tell us this was initially a domestic issue report, but once they arrived on scene, things got dicier.
What we learned was that the suspect had access to firearms. This really changes the dynamic of this call, and then it's an opportunity for us to bring additional resources in to make it safer.
The Sheriff's Office says there was family inside the home that they were able to get out safely, but because of those firearms, they brought in an armored vehicle. Law enforcement ripped the door off the home to get the man out before eventually instead pulling the suspect out of a window of a home. And to some neighbors, they've never seen anything like this before in this neighborhood.
This is a quiet 55 and older community, so it's kind of scary. I'm sure we've got a lot of feathers ruffled. Nothing like this ever happens around here.
And that was the sentiment we heard from a couple of neighbors in this community in Southwest Tigard. You can see right now TVFNR is still on scene as that investigation continues. We were also told by a public information officer with TVFNR that they're still looking for hot spots, so clearly still a lot of work to be done out here in Southwest Tigard. At the same time, we're still awaiting to learn what those charges are going to be for this man after this domestic issue and then the barricading of himself inside the home, so still a lot undetermined here. China.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thank you, Thomas. And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available 24/7. You can call the domestic violence hotline at the number there on your screen, 1-800-799-SAFE, or text the word START to 88788. All right, we are going to head over to Rod Hill now to take a check at your weather.
Well, it's a nice quiet Monday. Good morning to you. Take advantage because we have hours of steady rain coming in tomorrow. We have an impact alert for just the messiness of the steady rain hours tomorrow in the PM hours. We have a storm warning for the Cascades for finally heavy snow. That picks up during the day tomorrow. Now, we are seeing some light snow showers working across southern Oregon, eventually up toward the Blues today. This is all pushing east. So on the west side, Willamette Valley and to the coast, generally we're going to open up partly cloudy skies, be dry, have light winds, and be in the upper 40s. Here's Salem. Nice early morning shot, picking up a little bit of brightness from the sun and a little bit of sun illuminating the Willamette underneath the Markham Bridge there, it looks like from the Wells Fargo camera. 42 is the number out at the airport. We'll be upper 40s at 1 o'clock. Again, a mainly dry, partly cloudy day coming on a Monday. Here's Chris.
Okay, Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert in the Twilliger curves. Good news, bad news. It appears that crash has been cleared to the shoulder on I-5 southbound, but you can see here the traffic is still really slow getting around it, and it's created about a 3-mile backup. We're slow all the way back onto the Markham Bridge. This is the I-5 south commute just south of Morrison leading up to the bridge. So obviously you're going to need a few extra minutes to get around that. Let's hop over to Oregon City and West Linn. There's your I-205 South Drive near Highway 43. We had an earlier fender bender reported there. Looks like that is out of the way, but traffic's a little slow between Oregon City and West Linn. Going out, big picture here across the region. A reminder out in eastern Oregon, I-84 westbound is still closed between Baker City and Pendleton because of at least one crash reported on the westbound side of the freeway in the Blue Mountains. China, I'm not sure if weather had anything to do with it, but the Blue Mountain passes there are snow covered in some cases this morning.
Thank you, Chris. Ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro is scheduled to make his first court appearance today after the United States captured him in a surprise attack over the weekend. President Trump has been ramping up the pressure on Venezuela for weeks, and now lawmakers in both parties pushing for answers on what's next. President Trump saying the country's interim president, a close Maduro ally, is now cooperating and must continue to.
We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time. But the main thing you have to fix is a broken country.
The president also saying American oil companies will go into rebuild infrastructure and take over Venezuela's rich oil supply. Maduro and his wife are charged in the U.S. with narco-terrorism, conspiracy, cocaine importation, conspiracy, and weapons charges. President Trump suggested the neighboring Colombia could be next.
This is exactly the sort of international intervention that Trump campaigned against. There are parallels that should haunt us to the action in Iraq. In Iraq, it was weapons of mass destruction, which was a cover story fed to the American people. In this case, the cover story was interdicting drugs.
That was Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley's response to the U.S. capture of Maduro. Senator Merkley also saying the action was actually about oil, something President Trump made multiple references to during his address Saturday morning.
This is about oil. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world.
Senator Ron Wyden also releasing a statement over the weekend saying he strongly opposes President Trump's actions, adding in part, quote, President Trump's attack on Venezuela without congressional authorization or imminent threat to the United States is exactly the same global interventionism that Americans soundly rejected after decades of failed wars and disastrous meddling in other nation affairs. Washington Senator Patty Murray also chiming in on X, writing, quote, it's outrageous for a president who is tanking our economy here at home to suggest that the American taxpayers spend a fortune to run another country while doing nothing to make life better in America. In response to the situation, world leaders are holding an emergency meeting today. The planned meeting was requested by Colombia and back in Russia and China. The United Nations Security Council has met twice in October and December over the escalating tensions between the United States and Venezuela. The UN released a statement on Saturday saying Secretary General Antonio Guterres was, quote, deeply alarmed by the recent escalation in Venezuela and that the U.S. actions, quote, constitute a dangerous precedent. Meantime, President Trump is making comments on the deployment of troops to U.S. cities as the National Guard is set to leave Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland. In a social media post, President Trump announced that he's withdrawing troops from 3 cities. This follows a federal judge's decision in November to block the National Guard from deploying to Portland. President Trump also suggested the troops could be redeployed in a, quote, much different and stronger form.
The crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in, and we may, if we're allowed to. The most powerful thing we haven't used, the Insurrection Act.
You're considering using the Insurrection Act?
I've always considered it, but we haven't needed it anywhere.
Last week, Governor Tina Kotek and her office had not yet received official notice that the remaining federalized Oregon National troops can return home. Hillsborough firefighters were kept busy by a house that caught fire twice over the weekend. The first time was just before 9 o'clock Saturday night in the area northeast of Sunrise Lane and 21st Avenue. As soon as crews got on the scene, they called for more help putting out the fire as they had to navigate rescuing 2 people and a fallen power line. Unfortunately, 4 pets were found dead. But it doesn't stop there. Just before 10 o'clock yesterday morning, firefighters were called back after smoke and flames were seen coming from the home again.
The fact that it was boarded up made it difficult to force entry again this morning. I mean, they did a great job last night securing the property, which made it a little bit challenging this morning getting back in. So that's a big risk to the firefighters.
The 2 people have been displaced by the fires. The cause of the fire is under investigation. In Troutdale, first responders had to conduct a rope rescue after a driver went over an embankment. This happened just before 1 Sunday morning near Southeast Troutdale Road and Division Drive. Multnomah County Sheriff's deputies found the car about 20 feet down and heard the driver calling for help. After pulling him out, the driver was cited for DUI. In Tillamook County, Highway 6 is partially reopened after it was shut down for repairs nearly all day Sunday. A section milepost 35 west of Banks was washed out following a landslide. Traffic is restricted to 1 lane with flagging. Drivers should use an alternate route if possible. New picture shows the size of a landslide that forced the closure of Highway 229 between Kernville and Siletz. The stretch of road has been shut down since the slide on December 19th. ODOT says this is expected to be a long-term closure. Chris has a look at your traffic.
Yeah, and China, ongoing repairs from those two atmospheric rivers continue in other parts of the state as well. Here's a look at US 101 in Tillamook County. I'll step out of the way. That is another area that has slid. US 101 also down to one alternating lane indefinitely. Also, Highway 224, closed still east of Estacada because of landslides up high along the Clackamas River area there. And down in Marion County, Highway 22 through Mill City. Again, this is down to one lane, alternating traffic because of this slide cleanup. So even though the weather's been relatively calm here the last week to 10 days or so, ODOT still has a lot of work to do to clean up the mess from those atmospheric rivers. All right, back to the drive. I-5 through the Terwilliger curve's improving. We had an earlier crash there a few minutes ago. It looks like that's out of the way, but the drive's still a little slow back onto the Markham Bridge. Back to you.
Hey, our team tests tons of products. You know we only bring you the best, and I love finding you the best deals. We have an amazing one today on this product. Professor Amos's Shock It Clean multi-purpose cleaner. This stuff is insane, and what I love about it, you save money because it works outside and inside on just about everything. I have this grill right here. Come on in. It is all grimed up. Watch what happens when I just do this. Look, first of all, without even doing anything, it's already, you can see, turning that bright red. Then you just take this sponge. Look at that. Look at the difference, the side by side. And I haven't even wiped it down yet. Look at this. So side by side, the grime and the clean in 2 seconds. We did the same thing to this outdoor chair. There's the before and after. And we got to go inside. You got to see what it does in there. This is my carpet at home with this huge stain on it. And I'm actually wondering if it'll come off. So I'm just going to spray a little bit like this. That's actually, believe it or not, the color of the carpet. That's not the, look at that. That's the white of the carpet. Look how it just fixed that immediately. Insane. You know I had to come to the kitchen. We have a mock stovetop for you. What's great about this is it actually breaks down the molecular structure of the stains and grime. This is crazy, and the before and after just tells the entire story. We have a great deal on this for you today. A 3-piece kit, normally $29.95. Today for you, just $21.95. That's 27% off. You get the 32-ounce concentrated bottle, you get the spray bottle, and you get the sponge. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Today is a big day for many looking for the perfect wedding venue. Starting this morning, Portland Parks is opening up this year's batch of applications for wedding at parks across the city. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has the details.
Hey, it is dark and early here in downtown Portland at the Portland Building. It's around 5:45, and people have been out here camping all night long, some of them, to get those reservations for their wedding venues. This couple right here, they tell us they've been here since noon yesterday waiting for today. Now let's go down this line here. We want to show you just a little bit of what we're seeing. You can see people in their tents very well prepared for today, knowing this is a big deal and there's going to be a lot of people out here. Some other people we spoke with have been out here since 8 o'clock last night. That's this couple right here. The Hernandezes looking to get married in the near future. And we're going to take you all the way down here because there's a lot to show you. Now, why are there so many people out here today? It's really boiling down because it's a great deal and a great opportunity for people to get married in Portland Parks. The application window opens today at 8 a.m. That's when the doors open, and it's really first come, first serve for people waiting in line, hence the big long line. So you see people in the tents, you see people in the lawn chairs. We're going past the federal building here, all the way down the corner, even more people just hunkering down all night long, waiting to get in those doors to reserve their spot. We showed you the Hernandez couple, told you they're trying to get married pretty soon. They've been here since 8 p.m. Let's hear more from what they had to say today.
Definitely the price is a nice thing, but just kind of like we're outdoorsy people, and I'm sure a lot of people are, but just having like a beautiful place for your friends and family to come together and hang out where it's cozy and nice.
And we're going to keep it going here too. Look, this just keeps going on. Again, doors do not open here until 8 o'clock this morning, so a lot of time left to go. More than 2 hours waiting for people out here to get in there and get those reservations, but a lot of hope, a lot of optimism, and a lot of excitement for many people here in downtown Portland. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
An update to local ski conditions. Cascades resorts from Bachelor to Timberline picked up 6 to 8 inches of snow over the weekend. Mount Hood Meadows had a limited opening yesterday and are closed before night operations. They hope to get back to normal operations soon with more snow in the forecast. Meantime, Mount Bachelor got 6 inches of snow Saturday night. In the meantime, the resort cautioned people to stick to open and groomed terrain. All right, we're heading up to the weather deck where Rod Hill is going to give us the forecast.
What do we need, China Green on the mountain? What do we need?
Snow.
Yes, we do. What are we going to get, China?
Snow.
Thank you for paying attention to the forecast. Winter storm warning. This is big news. I'm up here live on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. Some breaks in the cloud cover thinning out, especially as I look off to the west. Looks like skies are really starting to open up. This will be a nice day. I do want to jump to the winter storm warning for the Cascades. And on the map, this is up across all of Oregon and Washington for the Cascades. This starts tomorrow and goes all the way in to Thursday morning. This is exactly what we need. We have had very few significant hits of snow, as you know, this entire rainy/winter season. This will be a good one. 4,000-foot snow level tomorrow. So that opens up some question for travel. Will Highway 26 be mainly wet, or will it get snow covered tomorrow afternoon? That'll be right on the cusp. The front comes in tomorrow evening. Behind that, snow levels drop to 2,000 feet. So we know that going into Wednesday morning, everything will be snow covered up there with confidence high of 2 feet or more when you get up above 4,000 feet. The storm winds down on Thursday and we go dry on Friday. Now, all of that will be bringing some decent rain to the coast and the valley. Here we are today. This is showing around noon today some light snow showers out toward Baker City and up into the Blues. But look at all the sun we're opening up here on the west side with a spotty shower chance. But generally we look to be pretty dry all the way through tonight. It's tomorrow morning that we start to see rain arrive from that incoming system. It turns into steady rain in the afternoon. The yellow there is heavier rain rates tomorrow evening as the front passes and the cold air comes in. And then while it won't be steady moisture, there will be numerous occasional shots of heavier showers and mountain snow continuing Wednesday into Wednesday night. So we talked about hopes for at least 2 feet of snow above 4,000 feet in the high country. At the coast, it'll be rain, of course, and this shows right about 2 inches to more in Tillamook, and it shows upwards of an inch. I think a good chance of at least 3/4 of an inch in Salem and Portland. This will be from Tuesday into Thursday, and there's Kelso with over an inch potentially. So this is going to be a pretty good storm system. Not a whole lot of wind. I mean, the beach could get, as you look at Chinook Winds Casino Resort Camera in Lincoln City, could get 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts at some point tomorrow afternoon. Nice morning at the beach, opening up, increasing sun. 42 is the temperature. There's a little bit of sunny blue up over the mountain. Timberline right now 24. And here is the Pioneer Park building camera looking over the square with a temperature of 42 degrees this morning. So the forecast is pretty good. We are expecting 48 degrees for a high today with mainly dry weather. There's the red impact alert for the rain tomorrow afternoon into the evening. And then if you jump to Friday, we're looking at a dry stretch Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is birthday time. Short list, but a good one and a great photo today. Happy birthday to Diane out in Dayton. Diane turning 76 years young today. And there she is some years back on a horse. Beautiful photo there. Birthdays at KGW.com. We will celebrate with you. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod's starting to see some breaks in the traffic out there, too. We had an earlier crash on I-5 down near the Twilliger Curves. That was southbound. The crash is cleared, and now finally the backup that had developed around that is clearing as well. So the drive times are improving out there. Right now you're driving from Troutdale about 25 minutes. That's on I-84 to get you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split. I do have one big trouble spot in eastern Oregon through Union County, actually from Baker to Union County. Westbound I-84 remains closed right now because of at least one crash up in the Blue Mountains. And as you look at this one snapshot near Meacham, you can see what looks like at least some partially snow-covered roadways out in the Blue Mountains on Interstate 84 this morning. Also in Wasco County, just south of Grass Valley, US 97 remains closed because of an early morning crash as well. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
In a wrap of our top stories this morning, investigators have arrested a man they say was barricading himself inside a home in Tigard with firearms. The sheriff's office says a tactical team worked to get him out, at one point using an armored vehicle to rip the front door off the home. There was also smoke seen coming out of a window, leading firefighters to be dispatched as well. They say the incident first began as a domestic issue. At 9 o'clock this morning, a murder trial gets underway for Kevin West, a Kamis-Washougal firefighter who's accused of killing his wife in 2024. Local officials say West initially reported that his wife was having seizures and had stopped breathing. But 2 months later, an autopsy by the medical examiner ruled that his wife had died by suffocation and blunt trauma to the neck. Her death was ruled a homicide. And 4 people reportedly from Oregon died in a helicopter crash in Arizona on Friday. All 3 passengers and the pilot on board are from an Eastern Oregon family. Family members posted on social media that the passengers are from Echo, Oregon, which is 20 miles west of Pendleton in Eastern Oregon. The sheriff's office has confirmed where they're from.
And I was just up on the weather deck. It's a nice morning. We're starting to see quite a bit of sunshine over the West Hills. So generally dry today, partly cloudy and 48. You see the red, the impact alert for the rain coming in tomorrow into the afternoon hours.
And obviously snow up at the Cascades, so be prepared for that if you're traveling to and from Central Oregon tomorrow. In terms of today, your morning drive actually looks pretty good. No major trouble out there right now. That lower right-hand corner of your screen, that's I-5 up near the Expo Center. There's some sun. Look at that. All right, I-5 right now getting in from Main Street to the Fremont's about 18 minutes. And other drive times shake out like this. 24 minutes right now get you westbound on I-84, Troutdale to the I-5 split.
Well, a reminder, you can watch Sunrise every day live exclusively here on KGW Plus starting at 7 o'clock. We also have added another hour of news at 12:30 and 5:30 right here on Plus. We hope to see you then. Have a great day.